Hey, so as you can see, there's quite a bit of snow on the ground right now. So I've switched over to my studded winter tires, the Schwalbe Ice Spiker Pros. This is my third season using them, and they are double defense, Addicts compound, and they're a 29 by 2.5 size tire. And I'm just gonna go for a bit of a ride, and now that I've had a few seasons to ride them, on my thoughts and how they apply and who they apply to, and what I like and dislike about them. So, ironically, these are probably not ideal conditions for these tires right now, though I still prefer them over, thank you, still prefer them over regular rubber this time of year. But something that I think that where I'll start off with this tire, which I think contextualizes this tire the best, is that it's kind of, the clue is in the title, which is that it's not like a regular studded tire, right? It's an ice spiker. And something that at least I think was lost on me when I first purchased this tire was that aspect of this tread profile, because most studded tires are fast rolling commuter tires, or they're fat bike tires, and they generally have very little tread. This tire is a mud spike, right? That's something that really sets it apart from other studded tires in the market that I've seen. Most don't have these really long wet weather knobs on the tire. They're not optimized for those kind of conditions, which will get me to my next point, which is that they're a pretty niche tire. And I think I see a lot of reviews of these tires online when people are complaining about the traction in snow, and I think people are kind of missing the application of this tire sometimes. Because this is not a powder, snow, fat tire type deal. This is a tire designed to kind of get the best all-weather, winter weather traction out of your cross-country hardtail or full suspension bike. Thanks. And it applies actually really well to where I live in Toronto in the valley, because the conditions here are not lots of powder. We don't actually get a ton of snow in Toronto relative to some other places. And what I mostly ride in the winter is hard pack snow, a lot of ice, and occasional patches of mud where the snow and ice is exposed to the sun during the day. And for those conditions, this tire is a godsend. I've been able to ride on trails that are pretty much completely covered in hard pack ice, snow / ice, with tons of traction, sometimes to the point where I have to be kind of careful because my bike has traction, but if I try to put my foot down, I'll slip. So I'm kind of forced to stay on the bike in a way. Sometimes when I go for a longer ride, I'll try to bring some, for the name's escaping me, but some studs for my boots, just in case something happens to my bike, because I can't walk out of some of the trails because they're so icy. So that leads me to my next kind of part, which is that, so who's this tire for? Well, it's definitely not for people who live in places that get a lot of powder and are looking for something to turn their hardtail or mountain bike into a fat bike. It will not do that for you. It's actually a pretty harsh tire, which is probably my least favorite part of it. It's a hard compound, or it's not so much a hard, it's actually a soft compound, but the casing is very thick because of the thick tread, and there's not much volume in the tire. So it's not the most comfortable tire in the world, for sure. But yeah, I think the use case for this tire that I would recommend is you have a mountain bike or a cross-country bike, and you live in a place where for maybe, let's say, 2 months or a month of the year, you can't ride because the trails are a little icy or wet. This tire will cover both bases. So you have in one package a mud tire and an ice tire, which is nice because often for a lot of places they're a little bit more southern. Winter can be a combination of a rainy season and a snowy season, right? It's not just snow the way it is in, farther north up in Ontario, Wisconsin, some parts, where there's a ton of powder in certain places, more mountainous places. This tire probably doesn't have a huge application or a ton of use. Thanks. But for Toronto and any kind of more southern Ontario location where you get a mixture, it's a very good use case for this tire. A couple of more things actually that just occurred to me that I want to add is two things. One, they're very slow rolling tires. They're heavy. I ride these on an e-bike, and honestly, I'm not sure that I could recommend these too much on a regular bike, just because the rolling resistance, especially on the road, really high. They're very slow tire, in my experience. To the point where I think I'm faster in good conditions on the road on my road bike than I am with this e-bike with these tires on, even with the assistance at maybe 2 or 3. Right, that's really slow. The other thing to watch out for is rocks. Rocks kind of become your enemy with these tires because, in my experience, at least here, the studs sort of slide off the rocks and make a pretty awful sound while they're doing it, and just don't really have a lot of grip. So if you have a really rocky climbs, this tire also might not be ideal. So let me know what you think of these tires. If you've tried them yourself, if you're considering trying them. Overall, I'd say they really work for me, but there's a lot of caveats, I think, for a lot of people who buy them. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if most people who buy them don't find that they really work for their intended use case, because in my experience, a lot of the people who look out and seek out winter tires aren't looking for this type of tread, or combination of tread. So have a good one. And